One thing that I want to ask is, I know there's a lot of time and effort that goes into life cycle assessments, and can manufacturers typically do these on their own, or do they often have to have someone help them with them?
Yeah, I would say in my experience, it definitely depends on how the organization is set up. A lot of the times you need a dedicated person to really have the time and the resources to conduct a life cycle assessment and also have knowledge of the software to develop the LCA model. So theoretically, yes, of course, a manufacturer can conduct their own LCAs. But as you mentioned, it is kind of a science. It does take a lot of time. It takes a lot of data collection. It takes a lot of knowledge of those ISO standards, of understanding like how to allocate correctly, or working with these different inputs and outflows of the manufacturing site. So I will say a lot of the times we are being approached by organizations, or, they're looking for help with lifecycle assessments just because of the time and resource requirements and the knowledge of the LCA modeling tools.
Yeah, so you just mentioned time. So what is the typical timeline for creating an LCA?
I think the typical timeline really is going to be dependent on a number of factors. For us here at SSC, our typical timeline is usually up to about 9 months, right? And that's going to include everything from data collection through calculations, benchmarking, modeling, writing reports, and then the critical review process, which is a huge part of the LCA process. That timeline can be expedited. Data collection is usually the big one, and we allot a lot of time for that because manufacturers need a good amount of time to get all this information. But if you have access to that data faster, we have seen that you can really shorten the timeline of an LCA by getting all of it upfront and being able to get into your calculations and your model faster.